Hey YouTube, it's me, Brandon Colonel again. Next video that I've got for you is actually going to be pretty different. Instead of doing a knife review like I usually would, I'm actually going to be reviewing a tea that's from a company called Adagio. Adagio is a tea company, and they're a website, internet-based company, and they sell pretty much any type of quality tea that you can possibly think of, really. They've actually got anything ranging from just a few dollars. Sorry about that. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, that should be secure now. Okay, they've got everything ranging from teas worth just a couple of dollars all the way to $45 for about like half an ounce of tea. So they've got pretty much every price range that you can ask for. Now, what's special about this one is the fact that you actually are allowed to create your own teas. So you can actually make your own blends based off of what you like. And another thing that's special about this is that it's based off of a fandom, because they actually have a dedicated section specific to fandom-only teas. Now, the fandom that I chose, as you can probably guess by the name, is Spice and Wolf. Now, this is my second favorite story of all time, and I really enjoy the series. So, I decided to make one for both Lawrence and Holo, and this right here is Holo's Honeyed Peach Preserved Tea. Or, I think I just called it the Honeyed Peach Tea. And so, what I put inside of it, and I'll actually take it out now, because it just recently finished steeping, so it should be good to go. I really hope that would stop happening. It's a lot harder to stick to wood than it is my usual base. But so, as you can see, it actually is a nice peach color, which it would probably show a little bit better if I actually had maybe a white a white cup to put it in, but those are all dirty at the moment. So, being a loose leaf tea, this does need to be strained, so keep that in mind before you buy it. They don't really have bags for it at all. And I didn't actually see where that would be an option either, so this is loose leaf tea. So make sure that you have a fine mesh strainer in order to get all the tea leaves out. Now, typically what I do in order to get the best results, this actually is a fairly weak tea, so keep that in mind. So you need to have a couple of tricks up your sleeve in order to make sure to get a little bit more out of it. Typically brewing for a while longer, I usually steep for about a good 15 minutes. And I really don't worry if I forget and go over that 15 minutes, because that just simply makes for a slightly stronger tea. Now, if you like weaker tea, then yeah, definitely steep for just a few minutes. I usually have about between 1 cup and 2 cups of water in here at any given time. Usually it's leaning more towards the 2 cup side. At the very least, there's a cup and a half of water for any cup of my teas. And then the amount of tea leaves themselves, I've usually got, I use a half teaspoon measure, and I've got 8 heaping spoonfuls of the half teaspoon measure. So that's the amount of tea to generally the amount of water. And this specific tea really goes well with lemon and honey. So the honey that I'm using is just raw, unfiltered honey. My Nature Nates that you can really just get from any Kroger. I haven't seen if it comes in Walmart or not. But I just use 3 standard spoonfuls. Like, nothing special, just 3 standard spoonfuls. As far as the lemon, I actually just add straight up lemon juice, right while I'm actually boiling the water. So that way the lemon will actually brew with the tea, and it makes it a little bit stronger flavor. Now, by doing it like that, it actually does bring out a little bit of the flavors with it. I usually just do about 2, maybe 3 minor squirts that I would, if I had to guess a measurement, I would say it's no more than 2 tablespoons, probably less, but yeah, about 2 tablespoons, if not less, of lemon. And all of that together with the approximately 4 tablespoons. I really wish that would stop happening. About 4 tablespoons of tea, 1.5 to 2 cups of water, about 2 tablespoons of lemon, and 3 just standard spoonfuls of honey. All that mixed together with about 15 minutes of total steep time, and you've got a nice cup of tea. One trick that I actually do to make this a little bit stronger, because like I said, the tea that I mixed with it is actually kind of weak. So one thing that I do, beyond just simply adding more tea, is I actually let it sit and boil for about a good 30 seconds. So that way it'll make it a little bit stronger. The company does give a recommended boiling temperature, and it says boil at 200 degrees or steep at 200 degrees for 40 minutes. Now, like I said, time-wise, I let it steep for 15, because I like more than scented water. So, I steep for 15. As far as temperature-wise, I let it come to a rolling boil for about 30 seconds while the tea is currently in it. And then that makes it a decent bit stronger, and actually has a dark tea. So that works for me. As far as what's in this tea, I actually mix inside of it a white peach tea, a peach Bellini, and honeybush. And everything that's inside of it, which each one of those 3 that I mentioned were the 3 that I picked, but inside of all of those together is white tea, apple pieces, honeybush, natural peach flavor, apricots, orange peels, rose petals, strawberries, mango pieces, pineapple pieces, marigold flowers, and papaya flavor. And then it's also accented with a decent bit of ginger. So all this together is what makes Holo's honeyed peach tea. Now, for those of you that don't know anything about Spice and Wolf, Holo, which is what this tea is based off of, is basically a reverse werewolf. She can transform from a wolf into a more human form, and she's basically the main character. The reason why I went with Peach for her is because for the entire series, a little side thing of hers is that she's really wanting to try honey pickled peaches, and it's sometimes referred to as honeyed peach preserves. And so I made a honeyed peach tea with the honeybush and white peach and peach Bellini tea. And then, especially after adding a decent bit of honey itself, that it makes for a really, really sweet and relaxing tea. So, as far as the overall flavor, let me try it real quick before I say anything else. Some of the other fruit notes, such as the pineapple, while it's not entirely lost, you don't taste that as much because virtually everything that I did was centered around peach. So that is the predominant forefront flavor, and very much as it should be. The white tea you can definitely taste, although that is a little bit more subdued. you don't really get too much of the strawberry flavor. The rose petals are definitely there. You actually do taste a decent amount of the mango. But yeah, the peach is definitely the strongest flavor and what I really wanted to come through. The ginger gives it a nice little kick at the end, but it's still not the predominant flavor. It's only accented with ginger after all. But yeah, overall, it's a fairly well-balanced tea, and I am very happy that I made it. So, as always, YouTube, stay safe.